What's going on, everybody? We are at the end of the monthly Mayhem Dragbolt Challenge. This is the 5th week or the 4th update week, whatever you want to call it, but we've come to the end of the month-long challenge between myself and Matt from the Scale Builders Guild, where we were taking Axial SCX10-ii Deadbolts and turning them into top speed machines. Now, as you may notice, I'm not quite done in this area. I'm out of time, basically, though. I do need to finish up my front air dam setup before I go run it in just a few short minutes, I hope. But in front of you here is my week's progress on the Dragbolt. Visually, a lot of changes, and honestly, there's a lot of work that did get done even in the shorter amount of time that I had. But let's try and hit the highlights at the very least. The basis of this entire week's worth of work was attaching the underpan. What you'll see is just a smooth underpan, front to back. I've got a dirt oval front, I don't know what you want to call it, bumper mount or something along those lines as far as what they use it for, but I'm using it as the basis for my front splitter and air dam. But we've got a sheet of aluminum that runs all the way from underneath there to the very back of the chassis where it runs into my rear diffuser. Now that rear diffuser is off of a Sakura D3 drift car, the same thing that I actually stole the shocks off of when I started this build. The air on the bottom, this should really help smooth it out. It also is a little bit of weight, down low at least, and I did have further plans for channelizing air and things like that underneath the body, but as I said, I'm out of time and I just didn't get to all of those. I did, however, find time to finish some side skirts, and you'll see those big 3D printed parts sitting there alongside of the body. That should help from allowing air to get in from the sides at the very least. There's some venting towards the front to allow air to come out from underneath there, and there was supposed to be some channelizing that happened in the front inside of the wheels to help keep things flowing that way. But as they say, the best laid plans. I have also added a windshield to this thing. Now, that may affect the effectiveness of my rear wing by pushing air over the top, but it should add a little bit of downforce in the center of the body as well. So either way, I think we've got a little bit of an advantage there. But I have not ran it since the last time you saw it going down the street in video. But underneath there lies bigger and better things. Here we've got the new Tekin Pro 4 HD 4300 kilovolt motor. That gives us an extra 500 kV over the 3800 system that we had in there previously. And pushing that Pro 4 is a Tekin Rx-8. That Tekin Rx-8 is hiding pretty cleverly all the way down on that aluminum skid directly under the rear drive shaft. Barely fits, like just barely. I thought there'd be room for days under there, but I was wrong, and it just clears. I asked a friend and coworker of mine, Michael Pham, to help me with the wiring on this weekend. He is amazing at wiring. I am not. I also just didn't have any time, and he was able to knock that out for me. Now, I told him that I needed it to be quick connect, and I gave him all of about 4 hours from drop off to when he was going to be able to drop it off to me. So he didn't have any of the size bullets I needed, so he actually used XT60 plugs so that everything on the car is quick connect and disconnect. He also wired this up with a parallel battery connector setup just in case I want to end up running 2 of my smaller 4S battery packs. Now, I am well aware that this 4300 kilovolt motor is rated for 2S power, but if we just got to do what we got to do, then we've got options. And if you remember last week at the end when I crashed this thing into a pile of sandbags, you may remember that I broke that front servo. But while the rest of the Tekin stuff was on the way, a new Tekin T180 servo came along with it. So I've got a nice all aluminum case Tekin servo up there, keeping things tracking straight. I did not have time to finish my servo on axle design, so we are back to a chassis mounted servo, and we're just gonna have to roll the dice at these speeds. I did replace the front axle housing with another one-piece axle housing, so I did replace that broken front axle housing with another one-piece axle housing, so that's taken care of as well. In the rear, I came up with some 3D printed mounts that attach the chassis to that bottom pan and tie into that rear diffuser. Hopefully it's strong enough, hopefully it's effective, who knows, I haven't done any testing. So using the gearing calculator with a 4300 kV motor at the 3918 gearing that I've got in the center and the 375 gearing in the axles, using a measured height of 4.15 inches on the tires, which is low, and a nominal voltage of 4 volts per cell, which is also being conservative. This thing theoretically should be able to hit like 78 or 79 miles an hour. I don't think that that's possible at all with what we've got in here. But if we could hit 70, I would be ecstatic. 65 will make me happy. 70 is my actual goal now. What I have left to do here is program the RX-8 and get everything mounted and drive over to my testing location. But Matt, the Canadian, has thrown a flag on the play, and he has claimed a rain delay. So he can't do his final testing and number posting today, like we planned. I by no means needed that extra time either, but we are going to oblige him, and we're going to allow him until Friday, when we would post our vlog update, to post his numbers up. And I'm going to wait till Friday to post my final numbers as well, but we are going to go testing today to actually see if we've made any improvements in this car. And while we aren't going to post our final numbers yet, we are going to know if we improved, and we'll see how happy I am whether we improved enough. Or option C, I'm gonna yard sale this car and we're just gonna have to roll with our 60-mile-an-hour mark. It's down to the wire. I'm nervous as hell that Matt has caught up to my 60 miles an hour or even exceeded it. He's been too cocky lately, which is way out of character. Matt is usually super modest. I mean, not as modest as I'm definitely the best at being modest. With that, I'm gonna try and get this RX-8 programmed so we can go get some speed runs in before the sun dips down. I just left Tony's house. He had the foam piece for that front dirt oval bumper thing. And now I am headed over. I don't have much sunlight left. You can see it's getting closer and closer to the horizon, but we're gonna go give this a shot. Fingers crossed that it's controllable. That's all I'm worried about. If this thing's completely uncontrollable, I'm gonna be pissed. And I need gas. It's gonna have to wait till after the run. I'm losing sunlight, but my gyro is reversed now because this Tekin servo runs the other way. And it's making things real interesting. But I'm running out of sunlight. All right. All right, we're good to go. Man, this motor feels faster. So much faster. All right, our peak speed shows 11 right now. I'm just messing around. Let's try this out. Sun's disappeared behind some clouds. My side splitters are rubbing. Taking them off. Hopefully I have time to adjust and redo, but we're gonna try and run it without them right now. Sounds like spur or pinion or drive shaft or something let go. Well, looks like I needed the extra time. I'm out of sunlight. I hope it wasn't just a spur gear falling off. That'd make me feel dumb. We're at 57, but I was nowhere near full throttle when it let go. Spurs on. What let go? just my gear mesh. And I know I don't have that size wrench with me. I know I forgot it. And I wonder if I damaged that spur gear. All right, I just don't have that 3/32 wrench with me. I can't believe I forgot it. I think I'm gonna try and run to the shop and get it. And there's a couple of places by my house where I thought had some, possibly were going to work for a speed run, but I'm losing the light. So either way, unless there's good lighting where these places are, I'm not gonna get a speed run above 60 tonight. Although this car has got it in it now. It's got, it felt like half throttle when I hit 57. So I laid into it and that's when it let go and I could tell that it wasn't right. I thought I lost a drive shaft. All right, to the shop, get my stuff, then I gotta head towards home at least. It was doing good, but it was braking. That was the issue. I tried to stop. Damn it. I ripped the wing and the windshield off. What's my max? GPS turned off. I charged this GPS for quite a while today, and I don't know if it just didn't take a charge or what happened, but it's shutting off. The car feels way better. The car felt good, but I did just snap the wing and rip my windshield off, but that was all because of braking, and I hit the reflective pavement markers in the middle of the road trying to brake, and it felt good though. So Friday will get interesting. The car feels good. It's gonna go fast. It's gonna go faster for sure. But I gotta get it repaired, and I gotta go back to my spot just because, or I gotta find a spot as good as it. And I think I know what happened is I left that GPS on since I left the last spot and drove all around. So it probably just drained the battery. I don't know how long it's supposed to be good for, but it's been like an hour. Friday gets more interesting. I wish I could have given a good number tonight, like a number where I knew I was close, but today was my stupidity. I messed up. So it's what I just didn't shake down the car, and that's what happens. So sorry I couldn't give you guys the number tonight. I don't know if 70 is completely out of the picture. I can't tell how fast it is. Until Friday though, guys, thanks for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're not already, comment below with whatever you got. I appreciate it, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.